Hello Cancers, welcome to your love reading for November 2019. So if you are a Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, this is for you. Okay, this reading is for you. If you are on the cusp of a Gemini, let's say you're a Gemini Cancer, you may want to see my Gemini video also. Or if you happen to be on the cusp of a Cancer/Leo, you may want to also see my Leo video. Okay, when I get it out, I haven't made it yet. As always, these readings are for the general public, so they will not resonate with everyone. So if you would like your own personal reading from me, all my links are in the description box, okay? So let's see what I pulled for you. So I pulled the Codependency card. In my tarot, I pulled the Three of Swords, then the King of Swords. I keep wanting to say the Knight of Swords. The King of Swords, okay, the Justice and the Ace of Cups. And then I also pulled the stars for my other deck. And for my Lenormand deck, I drew the Moon and the Book, okay? So as always, we're going to start with this card from my Romance Angels, okay? And we have the card Codependency. And if you can see at the bottom here, it says addictions are affecting your romantic life, okay? So something might be, or maybe has been affecting your love life, especially if you are already with somebody. Maybe other issues that are interfering with your love life, okay, or your marriage, etc. Okay, and so you might be going through a situation where maybe you or this other person is craving something unhealthy, meaning a negative attachment to someone, whether this is like an obsession with someone you can't have, for example, or possibly being too needy or clingy with somebody. And whatever or whoever it is, it seems to be impacting your love life this month, okay? And it could also be negativity, thinking bad thoughts or over-worrying, right? Remember, thoughts can become things. So it could be a codependency or like, how do I want to say this? The kind of person who would cope of always worrying instead of just seeing things as positive, right? So maybe it's not a specific person or bad habit, well, I guess that would be a bad habit, but the way you think, or just being very codependent on something or someone could affect your love life. And perhaps for some, this is a third-party situation. And this third-party person could be interfering with your marriage because now you're addicted to this other person, or maybe this other person is addicted to you, and there's a lot of codependency here, okay? And maybe for others, this is about, like I said, bad habits or maybe even substance abuse problems. So this could represent someone keeping a barrier, which prevents you from moving towards true emotional intimacy. Okay, so that's basically what I get from this card, and that's part of the meaning of this card as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the tarot cards now. Okay. So the Three of Swords, very obvious, very, very obvious, right? It's a card of sadness. It's a card of heartbreak. A lot of times this is the number one card for cheating in affairs, separation. It could be delays, loneliness, and betrayal. Okay, it's pretty obvious. And it's also air energy because it's a sword card. And then we have another air energy card here, which is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is pretty logical. It's someone that's very logical. He doesn't really think with his heart as much. He is all about fairness and justice, but he could cut you off. And sometimes this person can be emotionally distant or emotionally cold. It can be a bit harsh with his words, even if it's a woman. Okay, and the Justice card is we have Libra energy. So it represents correcting a wrong, balance, legal issues, but also fairness, accountability, weighing the pros and cons, also consequences, right? Consequences for our actions. All right. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which I'm really surprised that I pulled this card at last, but that does kind of butter up what's happening here, which I'll explain in a minute. So the Ace of Cups is a card of, it's water energy, new beginnings, new feelings, an offer of love, right? This is a very positive card. Awakening intuition, new love, a very positive card. Okay, this is a very happy card. This is, like I said, this is one of the best cards that you can get for a love reading. So I'm very happy to see this here today. All right, because I was beginning to be a little bit like, darn, that doesn't look so good. But anyhow, so by looking at all four of these cards, one of the obvious messages that I see right away is some of you are getting a divorce or someone files a divorce. okay? And it may not be that great at first, all right? But this happens so that you or this other person can begin this new life with someone else, being that the ace is the last card of this spread. And I really feel like for those of you, I don't feel like this is the other person. So if you're a cross watcher, maybe this is you not being as happy as the Cancer person, okay? But if you are the Cancer, I feel like you might have ended a divorce or might be in the process of ending a divorce this month to be with this new lover, okay? Because maybe that's how this happened, or maybe that's what caused the divorce in the first place. But it doesn't have to be that. That's just one of the meanings I get here. Remember, I give many of them, or I try to give as much as I can, all right? So, and I say that because it's pretty obvious with the King of Swords and the Justice card, because they can both refer to legal issues. Okay. Now, another meaning I do get from this is some of you out there is or may be dealing with someone who has hurt you, obviously, or perhaps there was, like I said, cheating that was involved, like a possible third-party situation. And you may have been dealing with an air sign person. The reason I say that is because not just because of the Three of Swords, but you do have a court card here. And I do go by signs usually if I get a court card. But so this is usually a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. But keep in mind, this does not mean that this is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. This could be someone's personality, okay? So even if this person is not an air sign, this could be someone who's just very emotionally cold or distant, someone that cuts you off. Because the King of Swords is not really the emotional type out of all the kings. He's not really the romantic type either. Doesn't mean he's not at all, or that this person isn't at all. But during this month, they may be less of, okay, let's just say, this person may have or may end up cutting you off, or vice versa, or sometime during this month, okay? But then, we have the Justice and the Ace of Cups. So one of the meanings here is whoever this person is, doesn't have to be an air sign, okay? Could be a woman as well. So where they hurt you or cut you off, the Justice shows a possible apology, realizing what they have done. It's like this person does all of this to you, or maybe you do this to them. Okay, whoever it is. Someone hurt someone else. Someone's very cold. Even if there was no cheating, let's say there wasn't any cheating, but somebody was treating someone bad. So, or maybe there was some sort of a separation. And then the Justice and the Ace of Cups shows an apology or realizing what they have done, taking accountability for their actions. And then the Ace of Cups shows that they go from silent and cold to suddenly more fair and loving. Perhaps they want a new beginning with you, to start over again, okay? So this could be, again, you or the other person. And another meaning I do get here is some of you are maybe dealing with someone in the military, someone that's, or law enforcement, right? Something happens to them. Or I don't see death here, okay? I really try not to predict death in readings unless there's many cards surrounding that support, enough cards to support there is a physical death, okay? However, for those of you that might be dealing with a legal issue with someone that was hurt, let's say they were in the military or they were a police officer or whatever occupation, someone got hurt and someone turns around and tries, maybe this is interfering with a marriage or relationship, there's some kind of court legal issue going on here. And another thing is, but you guys do get justice. There is justice. You will prevail. It looks like, based on this reading here, it's not going to resonate with everyone, but based on this reading here, if you are the Cancer, you're going to get justice out of this. So maybe your husband was hurt or your wife was hurt. And maybe this, again, they don't have to be in the military or a police officer, but whatever their occupation is, maybe this has been interfering with the marriage. You haven't really been able to spend time with each other, or as a couple, right? Or as a married couple, whatever, even if you're not married, because this court issue has been interfering with this relationship. So you finally get justice, or the court issue finally settles and you guys are happy about whatever outcome it is, okay? And maybe you don't get everything you want, but regardless, it does bring some peace and clarity, okay? Because I'm seeing happiness here. This is happiness. Okay, this is not a disappointment. It's like you do get justice. And I want to say maybe those of you that are going through a child, like someone, or divorce, it looks like the Cancer does get justice. So if you're filing for divorce and you're going through a lot with your ex-husband or your ex-wife, it's like if you are the Cancer, I'm seeing you most likely will get what you want from this. Okay, whether it's custody battles or, all right. Well, I was seeing something else and I forgot what it was. I'm trying to remember it. Okay, so let's say in general, somebody had hurt you. Maybe this is an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend. You start to see the karma that happens because you've been so codependent and so fixated on wishing something bad would happen to them. Now, I'm going to throw this in. I don't think we should wish the worst on someone, okay? But it's almost like even if you weren't hoping for this person to get karma back to them, it does anyway. So you kind of get to sit back and laugh and enjoy the entertainment of, oh, you fucked up, didn't you? Oh, it's all coming back to you now, right? And I get to be happy with the person I'm with while you suffer. But I'm not saying that we should think that way. I'm not saying that's something I would do. I'm not saying to advise that, but perhaps some of you get some karma and someone may want you back. And even if you don't want them back, you're going to sit back and enjoy the fact that they want you back, right? Like, oh, you did this to me. And now you want me back. Oh, you're so sorry. Okay, but look at me now. Look at me now. This is part of the energy I'm getting, right? Again, I'm not saying I would do this. I'm not saying you should do this, but in all fairness, I think all of us, when we have been with someone who has really hurt us, like an abusive ex or someone that really tried to ruin your life or take your children away from you over petty issues. I'm not saying they had, I mean, there's good reasons why people do that, okay? I'm not the judge here. I'm just saying that sometimes we do encounter, or we have been with someone who has really done damage, and then we get to see it happen to them, right? Even if we don't wish it for them, but we get to at least acknowledge the fact that karma kicked them in the ass and you know, hey, karma finally did what she needs to do, right? Anyway, that's one of the meanings, okay? It's not gonna resonate with everybody, okay? So what else do I get here? Sorry. Yeah, which is kind of like what I said. So another thing I do get here, I mean, this is a very obvious spread, so I don't really have to say too much here, but it's pretty obvious. So another thing is someone just separates from you, okay? So this may not have anything to do with legal issues or divorce, but somebody separates from you, okay? Or maybe they filed a separation, but regardless, somebody separates and then you guys come back to fix things because somebody wants to correct a wrong. They want to make it right. They want to make it right, okay? They want to make it fair, okay? That's what I see. And what I also see is someone who files divorce, okay? So even though I already mentioned divorce, but it's like someone files divorce, but then they don't want to actually go along with it. It's like maybe they filed divorce and they want it voided. They actually want to stay in this marriage. They want to, one of you decides to stay together and not get a divorce, okay? Or maybe someone who you were already divorced from, you kind of see each other again, all right? So maybe you were already divorced. In all fairness, there's no returning cards like the Six of Cups, for example, but the Ace of Cups is why things turn out okay, regardless of the situation. So although, like I said, there's no cards that show somebody returning, but that's possible. Maybe you get back with an ex-husband or ex-wife, all right? But even if there's no legal issues involved, it's like there's the separation due to betrayal. Or even if it has nothing to do, again, with cheating, somebody hurt somebody, but they want to come back and correct it. and they want to make amends and then start all over again. And then this brings love and happiness. So again, it's the Ace of Cups that's really saving everyone's ass here. If it wasn't for the Ace of Cups, all right? And then the Justice card is really screaming to me. This one stands out the most for me, and not just because it's a major card. It is the only major card out of all the cards here, but that's not why it's screaming. I just keep feeling, sometimes I'll get cards that scream more. Basically, these two scream more to me, but this one especially. And sometimes this card tells me that someone will feel that they got justice for what they did. And I kind of was talking about that already, or that one person gets one thing and the other person is getting something different. That's kind of like what the Justice card can be about. And this card is usually based on facts. It's based on truth, right and wrong, right? It has little to do with emotions, although this one does. But back to this card. So sometimes it's about making exceptions based on feelings, So it could be about not having something that should really be yours because someone else sways or manipulates things with emotionally based pleas. Like, it can't be about the emotions that need to be dealt with as a result of an unfair decision. And again, the Justice is like karma. Actions have consequences. But because of the Ace of Cups coming here, or coming after, I feel that decisions have been made to go to the root of the problem. And this is why I see more of a new beginning, okay? And kind of like what I said earlier, for some, the person who wronged you, they kiss your ass, okay? Or even if they don't, and not everybody needs to do that, but it's like this person really wants, like I said over and over again, this person wants to make it right, okay? They really want to fix what has already happened, okay? And maybe this is you, maybe it's not the other person. But I am a Cancer, and I know us Cancers, not that we can't do any wrong. Oh yes, we can. We're not innocent here. But in all fairness, we are the mothers and the lovers of the zodiac. Not the lovers, but we are very kind-hearted. So you know what? Team Cancer, this can't be about us. Just kidding. It can be. So again, it could be, the energies could be interchangeable, okay? So maybe this is you wanting to fix things with someone else. Okay. I can't just be like all for Cancer just because I am one. Okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. So let's look at the Stars card, okay? And it reads at the bottom, it reads, a long journey brings rewards. Interestingly, this card also stands for a separation, or basically a possible reunion after a separation. And what was I already talking about here? I'm telling you, the cards don't lie. And the Three of Swords is hurt and separation, okay? And the Ace of Cups, okay, the Ace of Cups is all about, starting over. And that's what I was kind of seeing with my cat. Sorry, hold on, he's getting all over my desk. No, Sui. Okay, sorry about that, okay. So the Stars is also about never losing sight of your inspiration or dreams, right? It's a very positive card, as you can see here. All things are possible. Wishes can come true. So I do feel like this card is reminding you to believe in yourself and that things happens for a reason, no matter what the situation leads to. But again, we do have, I'm telling you, we do have happiness at the end of all of this, what's going on here. Okay, someone gets justice, right? And if we take a look at my Lenormand cards, we have the Moon and the Book, right? So the Moon, this is very interesting because the Moon represents like nighttime, romance, rest, relaxation, intense emotions, intuition, imagination, fears. It's a bit similar to the Tarot Moon card. Okay, a little bit similar. And the Book represents information, education, studies, secrets. This is actually the number one secret card of the Lenormand. Something that's hidden, but also can be a discovery because you're learning about facts. You're figuring out the facts of a situation. So when I get these together, I feel like this is talking about hidden feelings. There's some kind of hidden emotions, or like I said, looking into facts secretly or intensely, or hearing the truth brings out emotions, right? And what are these two cards about? Truth and emotions. So we have a very similar pair right here. Truth that brings out emotions. And maybe that's what I'm seeing here. Maybe this is something about hearing the truth brings out a lot of emotions. But again, the Ace of Cups is more of a happy emotion. So again, not seeing upset. This would be more sad, heartbreak, a broken heart, right? Versus, and it's interesting how we have this and then this card at the end. It's like going from a broken heart to a happy one, happy feelings. Maybe some of you thought, maybe someone is very guarded because they assume that you don't love them anymore. This is something else I'm getting right here. I'm not done with this though. I'll go back to this in a second, but sometimes I have to jump back when I pick up things. So some of you might be really sad because you feel someone doesn't love you, but then you realize towards the end of the month or sometime in the month that they really do love you. Because maybe this person just is very cold, they hold in their feelings, and maybe because they can't be with you. Again, when I was talking about the third party situation, maybe this person is very sad without you, or vice versa. Maybe you're both married or both taken. So you feel like maybe you feel this person doesn't love you as much, but regardless of that, someone speaks up most likely because again, there's truth that brings emotional fulfillment. Okay, so whatever's going on, this is not over. It's like maybe what you thought was over isn't. Okay, it's like starts all over again. Okay, or maybe some of you that has been lonely, divorced, maybe widowed or widower, you finally find someone that you actually marry, because the legal issues can be getting married. Like I said, some of you might be going through a divorce to marry someone else, or maybe you've been divorced for a while, but then you get remarried. Even if it's not with the same person, maybe you found someone and you never thought, you were like, I'm never gonna get married. I would never get married. No. But oops, let's get married. You didn't think you still had it in you. It's like someone brings out the best in you that makes you want to get married. Or even if it's not actual marry, like legal, you want to commit to this person. Okay, so it's okay if you don't want to get legally married. It's just a piece of paper. I know the truth. But regardless, you want to. Again, that could be another thing that I'm seeing here. So if we go back to this, so possibly this, I do see this as more positive because I view this due to the Ace of Cups, right? So possibly more information about what you already know to be true, right? What you already know to be true. Okay, and this could bring about more intuition, or maybe a realization about how you are this, about how this person really feels, right? Perhaps they open up their feelings more. And what was I just talking about here? See? Again, the King of Swords can be someone who goes from cold and distant to someone more loving and emotional, shown by the Ace of Cups, right? So sometimes the Book and the Moon is also about realizing that what you felt was right about this person is right because the facts become more clear if it wasn't for the Ace of Cups. And again, if it wasn't for the Ace of Cups, I wouldn't see as positive as I do. But I really feel like these, because sometimes one slight negative meaning of these two cards is the facts bring out some fear, right? And maybe knowing how someone feels is maybe you know what? Maybe I'm getting interesting. Wait a minute. So one other thing I do pick up, because this does have many different meanings. So let's say you find out how someone really feels and you're happy about it. You're very happy about it. But this means that, this means because maybe you feel the same way, but you weren't sure. But maybe, let's say both of you or one of you is in a committed relationship or marriage. And then you're like, this just opened up a can of worms. So now that I know how they really feel, I'm going to really have to do something about it. But that this might mean needing to realize that the one you're already with isn't the one. And you don't really want to be the cheater. But maybe in this situation, you really can't lie. You can't hold back your feelings. You can only hold them back so much. So it's like realizing truth. The book is all about the facts, the truth. So that could be a little scary, you know, because it's not just a fantasy anymore. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it now. I thought it was just okay to just pretend we would be together one day. But now that I know how they really feel, something has to be done. Now this is really coming into reality. The truth is coming out. We can't hold back, but this means that I gotta sacrifice someone. Like, I mean, you know, not be with someone else, or maybe they do. And maybe someone, and in all fairness, maybe somebody leaves their marriage for you. Okay. Anyhow, this is pretty positive, I would say, because of these two cards. But these two cards are really saving you. All right. So, however it resonates with you, just again, as always, take every reading with a grain of salt, but that's what I have for you, Cancers. I hope that helped you and gave you some insight for this month. And have a wonderful November. Again, if you would like your own personal reading, all my links are down below. And as always, thank you for subscribing and liking my videos, etc., etc. And I will see you guys on my next video.